Now that you've got the basics of how to move things into standard form and how to find the equation of the line if you're given your slope and your y-intercept, now we're going to move on and kind of make it a little harder. We're going to find the equation of the line. It says part 2 because now they're going to give you, this is if you're given a point and a slope. Now, there are 3 ways to find this. If you'll notice, I've given you option 1 up here at the top. Down at the bottom, you should see option 2. And then on the back side of this page is option 3. You can use any one of these methods. So once you find one that you like, go ahead and stick with that method. Don't keep switching it back and forth. And I don't care which one you use. So option 1, if you're given a point and a slope, is to substitute x and y of the point and m into your slope-intercept form. So let's kind of look. It says example 1, find the equation of the line that passes through this point to -3 and has a slope of -3. Well, that means this is your x and this is your y and then this is your m. So if I'm plugging into our slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b, my y value is -3, and then equals m, which is also -3, and then times x, which is 2, plus b. So now I've substituted x, y, and m into the equation. Now it says solve for b, which is the y-intercept. So I would multiply here. So I've got -3 equals -6 plus b. Then to get b by itself, I would add 6 to both sides. And I would get 3 equals b. Well, now if I go from the beginning, m is -3 and my b is +3 because that's what we solved for. So now slope-intercept is y equals -3x plus 3. So now I'm ready to move it into standard form. So y equals -3x plus 3. So I've got to move x, so I do plus 3x plus 3x. Again, I don't line them up because I can't put them together, an x and a y. So now I have 3x plus y equals 3. X is positive. X and y are on the same side and there's no fractions. So this is standard form. And then the last part says to go ahead and graph. So remember, we graph using our slope-intercept form. We start with our b value, that's where we begin. So up 1, 2, 3 and put a point. And then we would go down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 1. 1, 2, 3, right 1. Down 1, 2, 3, right 1. 1, 2, 3, right 1. And then I could do the opposite, up 1, 2, 3, left 1. 1, 2, 3, left 1. And then I could go ahead and connect my points. So that's your first option, is solve for b. Option 2 goes back to using your spreadsheet. So if you're not real comfortable, then you can go ahead and use your spreadsheet, and this will give you the option of using your calculator to do most of the work. So notice it says, again, use spreadsheet to find the slope and the y-intercept. So the first thing we do is plot the point that they gave you. So if we look down here, we're still trying to find the equation that passes through this point with the slope of this. Notice that it's exactly like option 1. It's the same problem, we're just solving it a different way. So we're going to plot the point, 2, -3. So we start at 0, we go to 2 on the x-axis, and then we go to -3 on the y-axis, and we would put a point. Step 2, follow the slope to find the other points on the line. So we have a slope of -3, so down 1, 2, 3 over 1. and then I could also go up 3, left 1. And it should turn out very much like the graph that we already did above. So here's our points. And then C says use the 2 points to put into spreadsheet so that it will tell you the slope and the y-intercept. Well, we already know the slope. It was -3 because they told it to us. And in this case, we can actually see the b value, which is 1, 2, 3. But if we couldn't see it, remember the 2 points, we could use 2, -3, because that's the one that they gave us. And then I could pick any other point that I see on the graph. So I could use 1, 0. I could also use -1, 6, looks like. So any of these 2 points we could put on the graph or in the spreadsheet, and it would tell us this same information. And then we would say y equals -3x plus 3. And that's the same answer that we got up here on number 1. Okay. And then for standard form, I'm just going to put that this is the same as option 1, because I don't think you need to see me solve for that again. Okay. All right, so let's look at option 3. This is the one that you are quote-unquote supposed to use because it is actually the point slope formula. I mean, that's what the actual formula is called. So if you're given a point and a slope, you should probably use the point slope formula. But from my experience, it's the least favorite method amongst students. So here is the slope or point slope formula. It's almost like what we did with option 1, where we're plugging in for x, y, and m. So if these are the information that they give us, this is going to be our x1, this is y1, and then this is still m. So if we're sliding or substituting this information into the equation, it's y minus y1. So we said m is -3, x1 is 2, y1 is -3. So y minus y1 would be -3 equals m. So this would be -3. And then x minus x1, well, that would be 2. So then once I've plugged them in, my first job is to simplify. So I have this double negative here. So a negative would make a positive. So this would be y plus 3 equals -3, parentheses, x minus 2. Then your next step is to distribute. So I would distribute the -3. So that gives me y plus 3 equals -3x plus 6. And then it says transform to y equals mx plus b. That means get y by itself. So we would have to move this plus 3. So we would say -3 minus 3. So then y equals -3x plus 3. So there's slope-intercept form. Now it says what's the equation of the line in standard form. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put the same as option 1. So those are your 3 methods. Down here you'll see example 4, and then at the bottom you see example 5. Notice it says what option did you use. I want you to pick one and try it. And then down here it says option, and then it says different from the first example. So I want you to try a different method. Then, once you've kind of figured out which one you like the best, use that one again for example 6. And then at the bottom it says describe in your own words how to use your favorite method, and then tell why you prefer this method over the others, and it must be in complete sentences. Good.